At Whitsome East Newton here, we're farming 680 acres all in, nearly 650 acres of arable if everything was in crop. We're mainly cropping wheat, winter barley, winter oilseed rape, spring oats and spring beans. We have a small flock of sheep, so there is some grass moving into the rotation as the sheep flock keeps increasing, and we have pick your own pumpkins on a small scale. Our soil on the farm are reasonably well bodied. It's a Whitsome series majority of the farm. We do have some Horndean series soils which have a higher clay content. Over the last few years I've mainly just worked myself as far as the arable side of the operation goes with harvest help. The main we changed to strip tillage a few years ago. I always liked the idea of doing a wee bit less work with the soil, so we had a couple of demonstrations of various drills and plumped for the Sumo DTS as a strip till drill going forward. This is a Sumo DTS seed drill. It's a 3-metre version, fully mounted. Ideal, helps when I'm going between farms and fields because I can just lift the drill and straight onto the road. I'm not over any legal widths or anything like that. The drill works by having a disc initially cutting through the trash. The disc has a shoulder on it which helps set the depth of everything. So the disc, and then there's a straight tine which is just a leg which you can put into the ground up to 25 centimetres, but very rarely would I put it in that deep. Followed by that we have the second leg which has the seed cooter on it. At the moment it's just got a 1-inch cooter on it when I've been sowing the oilseed rape. Normally when we're sowing cereals it'll have a 5-inch seed boot on it which sets the seed on a kind of shelf either side of the leg and doesn't put seed down the middle. We also use these 1-inch cooters when we're sowing beans so we can get in deeper without disturbing lots of soil. Added to the drill by myself, I have a liquid fertiliser set up on it, so I've got a nozzle behind the cooters that I can dribble liquid fert out of, using a front tank on the front of the tractor and just a small pump to pump it through. And I've also added a Stocks rotometer hopper and meter on it, and it's got a fan unit on it which blows these seeds to 4 outlets which are suspended above the back of the drill. We use that for the clover seed that went on with the rape, or if I want to put slug pellets on, or gives me flexibility if I want to sow or mix 2 different kinds of seeds together. Only really any use for small seeds out there. Didn't try any other strip till drills as such on my own farm. I had been and seen others working. We tried like the horse sprinter type drill, which we actually did a trial 3 fields side by side, one the way we were doing it, one with the DTS and one with the sprinters in 18 autumn, and there was nothing between the 3 fields yield wise at all, and I just felt the DTS gave me even less to do than what the sprinter did. So I've had 4 years. 2019 was our first year sowing with the Sumo DTS. Try to keep as much of the organic matter on the farm as possible as far as straw goes. We do sell the barley straw. I like to get the barley straw off. I think getting it off helps the rape establishment. So the barley straw does go through to the west of Scotland to a friend every year. Wheat straw we bale enough for ourselves. We do bed and breakfast cattle, so we use 1,000 to 1,200 4x4 round bales ourselves every winter or through the course of the year. And this year I've started with somebody else doing straw for muck. So he's taken 200 acres or so worth of straw. Well, this is field of rape just sown 5 days ago now. So this was winter barley. So the straw was removed. The field had a pass with a double rake as soon as I could post harvest. Once the bales were moved, just to move trash around, and then it did have the whole lot had a application of glyphosate prior to drilling, just to kill off any grass weeds that were coming around, especially around the head rigs more so than in the middle of the fields. So that was done, and then straight in with the drill. While we were drilling, we were also putting on Nitrogen, liquid nitrogen, behind this drill there's rapeseed going down the main cooter with a 1-inch cooter just on the drill, so that we're moving as little soil as possible, and we had splash plates on the back showing an understory of clover as well. The clover, it's a mixture of balsam clover and crimson clover. The balsam clover probably won't make it through the winter. It maybe survive down to a -3 frost, but if we get anything colder than that, it will get killed out. This last year, A, due to high prices, and B, trying some other things, we've been adding fulvic and humic acid and humates into the liquid nitrogen we've been using in the spring and in the autumn's application. And we've cut back rates a bit, so our rate last year only had 120 kilos of nitrogen and yielded well. Financially, biggest wins is the reduction in time and diesel and machinery. Have rationalised machinery a wee bit. There's still some to go. We still have a plough, but it hasn't moved for 3 years. So. Yeah, I have no regrets of going this way.
Great. Super, thank you very much. That's great.